And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. It's a snack pack, everyone. It's NBA Draft Day. It's finally here. Truly appreciate it. You see Joe right there, pins and needles, nervous to what the Lakers might be doing. Truly appreciate everyone out there watching, listening. Again, we will be having our live coverage of the NBA draft later today, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Please go ahead and check it out on all of our platforms. If I can get Twitter fixed, we'll see about that one. But we will be on playback.tv. We will be on YouTube. And if you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe below Joe, right there, the little Joe in your right hand corner of your screen to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. News and notes every single time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Facebook, of course, also as well. Twitch, Trovo, Kick, and more. So go ahead and check it out today. Subscribe and follow wherever you can. But it is NBA Draft Day. We're so excited. I know the emails already have been going crazy and wild with the updates and thoughts about what's going on. And of course, Joe has already been proven wrong already once today. Will he be proven wrong again? We'll find out. But the good man is here indeed. It is Joe Soro from Simblades with a Y.com and LakersBall.com as Ox1947. I say you're wrong that the Lakers, you said, would never be able to do business with Kevin Pritchard, the GM in Indiana, because you said he hates the Lakers. Well, today they did conduct a trade, albeit a minor one indeed. So the Lakers did move up from their 47th pick in the second round to the 40th pick in the second round. So not exactly the blockbuster the Lakers fans out there were hoping for, but it does move us into the number 17 and 40 selections. Also as well, Chris Paul does have a destination for this upcoming season. It is in Golden State after Washington moved his contract in a trade for Jordan Poole. So Jordan Poole goes to Washington. Chris Paul comes to Golden State. Not the kind of activity I was hoping to see. I like to see more activity. There was some downtime between the Lakers and then this move by Golden State. But your thoughts so far as we head into the closing hours before the NBA draft?
No matter how much your enemy hates you, if you offer them $2 million, they'll probably take it.
That's true. The old cash considerations was also included.
Now, maybe that was a tactical move because I know that there's been information saying that the Lakers feel like they might have somebody at 40 that they would really, really want versus at 47. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Draft prognosticators like our good friend Stone Hansen, maybe not specifically from Stone directly to us, but there seems to be a window where the players between, I think it's between 15 and 40, are pretty much a crapshoot. Like any one of those players between 15 and 40 can go in that area. And maybe that's why that trade did what it did. But we're getting a pretty good idea that the NBA is making up for the dull, boring offseason they had last year. You remember we were talking about that. Probably the worst free agency season ever, at least since I can remember. So maybe Adam Silver got on the horn and said, listen, we own even more than the NFL, Major League Baseball's hot stove or trading deadline. We own that thing. We own that particular process. We need to start it early this year and get it going. And it's been going. The latest trade of Chris Paul to Golden State for Jordan Poole was not a surprise, but a surprise as well.
How so, my friend?
Because I didn't know who would take Jordan Poole's contract. and someone did. And then Golden State's going to get Chris Paul on a shorter deal. And now, how does that play out? So all that time yesterday, we were talking about how, oh, they didn't get jack squat for the Porzingis deal or the Beal deal. They didn't get one first-round pick. Well, they got one in this trade with CP3, and they got a guy that's actually got some talent and maybe just needed to get out of Golden State because he got,
I think it's going to be a 20-point a game score.
Oh yeah. He's going to have all the room to be exactly who he wants to be, and that in the end, everything seemed to be a setup for this moment for Washington. And then at that point, the early mocks are saying that they're going to pick Anthony Black at 8, and now you have two young guys in Washington that you can sort of start building something there. Which
plus Tyus Jones still there as well.
And Tyus Jones now is your point guard, so they went real young. They got good. Jordan Poole's a young guy making 30, not Bradley Beal. It's a good way to go. I mean, what else can Washington do? They're unfortunate.
I wish they would have gotten more first-round picks out of all these deals.
Well, maybe the deal wouldn't have gone through if that happened.
Maybe.
And that's probably what it was. But I just don't think they're. I'll be curious to see what they do with Kyle Kuzma now. Are they going to bring him back? I think this maybe helps because they're going to the youth movement. Maybe they'll want to sign him back for 25 for 4. Maybe that's something that can work out for them. But Golden State gets out of that contract. They get one more year with Chris Paul, and I think there might be a trade there as well once they get an idea what they want to do next.
I do want to say Through the Wire is confused by the Wizards' plan as far as he thought they wanted to get off their long-term money unless they think Poole factors into their long-term plan. I think with Poole, the thing is he's going to score a lot in Washington for a losing team, for a team that wants to go ahead and tank. And the thing is, if he plays well enough, he might become an attractive asset that they will probably or eventually trade up. I have a feeling he's not going to finish his contract in Washington. I just have this feeling.
Washington is always in that 5-10 range for drafts.
Plus, it also helps to keep him from the floor. Remember, there's a floor to the salary cap as well.
Yeah, Washington always seems to be in that no man's land when it comes to the draft. They're not ever drafting someone who's next level, someone that is a franchise guy. Bradley Beal, as good as he was, I wouldn't consider a franchise guy. And then the one time they did get a franchise guy in John Wall didn't really perform for more than maybe 1 year in terms of some kind of a playoff run. So they're almost kind of like Minnesota and New Orleans, Charlotte. It's just like they can never just get that one guy that can set them apart from the middle of the pack. And unless Anthony Black, should they get him here at 8, unless he's that franchise player that can move the needle, I don't know if they ever will. And no one is going to want to go to Washington. Kuzma's not going to be that guy either if he stays. So I don't know. I guess if you're an owner of the Wizards, you're going, look, I'm going to do my best to make money and try to put a formidable team on there. But that's pretty much it because I don't see them being a fixture in any kind of winning basketball in the future.
Yeah, because with Poole, he is not a great scorer. I mean, he's not a great defender at all, and by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he's a very poor one, as we saw evidence in the playoffs at both seasons, the last 2 seasons. But he's going to get the chance to go ahead, score plenty. And then again, if there's any injuries or a need by a contender in either conference for a hired gun, they're going to go ahead and try and seek out the Wizards. And the Wizards finally may get more of those first-round draft picks I'm talking about. Because really out of all this, they got a ton of seconds that they just announced from Phoenix. I will say, though, that they did get a first-round protected in 2030 from Golden State. I think it's top 20 protected, if I'm not mistaken. So,
and what's the benefit of Washington accumulating first-round picks so that they can leverage something for a trade? Who's going to want to come to Washington? is the question. Are they
Why do
going to use it?
I think they're just tanking right now.
Okay, they should have tanked last year if they
Yeah.
waited too long. Who are they going to get next year? Are they going to plan on getting someone that could be the greatest? It seems like every other year we're getting the best prospect since LeBron BS. Uh, we need to wait. We need to wait. Wojnarowski said that Wembanyama is could be the greatest prospect in the history of sports. I'm like, what? What is it? What is that all about? Like, why would you even think that? But we the hyperbole is high in social and media outlets. Uh, we're not going to know this until we see it, but it is a good start for Wembanyama. He's going to a team with a good coach and a good organization. So if he does have the talent and he stays healthy, he's obviously going to be a superstar at that point. Um, but I don't know what the Washington Wizards are going to do. Just they're not going to get that game changing guy. It seems anytime soon, unless they can get lucky like Denver and pick some guy in a high first or second round and he happens to materialize.
So let's talk about the Lakers, the move that they made earlier today. Again, moving up from 47 to 40 by providing some cash and then swapping out the 47 pick. So they do move up to 40. I still don't think that's high enough to get a guarantee on a really contributing player, but the Lakers have found success in the second round before. The first round pick is still in question. There's talk about them possibly moving up, looking after Kobe Buffkin, among others. Is probably a hot name amongst that list, but they would probably have to move up in order to get them. I think that's could be used, that number 40 pick, and some other very few assets the Lakers have to go ahead and move up. Again, we've always talked in the past couple days about them moving down. We haven't really talked too much about them possibly moving up, which is could be something that the Lakers might be interested in if they want to go after a player like Kobe Buffkin.
Kobe Buffkin has the potential of being a very good offensive player. The issue with him is he's 19, he's a buck 95, 6'4", which probably means he's more 6'2". Is that guy going to come in and make an impression in his rookie season? Is he going to be someone who could be a 7-8 guy in the rotation? I don't think so. I know Stone likes Kobe. Um, I know that the potential is there. I haven't watched a lot of him at Michigan. I know that Rob, being a Michigan guy, stays close with those guys as well. Very, very close. Um, I'm in a situation now where what's the easiest position to come in from college to the NBA and make some kind of an impact? Usually, it's the bigger players. And moving up in this draft, I don't really know what benefit it would be unless you move to the high teens, and that's kind of, or I'm sorry, the high ones, and that's kind of where I stand on that.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It's a snack pack for you, just talking about what's going on right now as far as the latest news and notes in advance of the NBA draft, which we're going to be covering in detail today on all of our outlets starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So please join us for that, whether it's on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, YouTube, Facebook, and more. So go ahead and join us later today right here. So, my friend, that brings us to where we stand right now with the NBA draft. I mean, you're hoping, as I am, that the Lakers are going to go ahead and be able to get that type of pick. I know you have to go here in just a couple seconds, but are you thinking that the Lakers will move up or stand pat?
I think they'll stay where they're at. Yeah, I think they'll stay where they are. And if
Okay.
there's anything that's going to happen right now, is there could be a trade that could make us very happy, and that's certainly a possibility. We're gonna have to wait and see how things materialize here in the next few hours.
Fair enough indeed. But great to have you here, my friend. Looking forward to your contributions later today. Know you have to go ahead and jet out. Got SimBlade stuff to do before you go ahead and sit down with us for several hours for the NBA draft. Appreciate it. Looking forward to having you back on later today, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. That was Joe Soro From LakersBall.com and SimBlades.com, Zangerstein brings up a good point. She says that one thing she would say about the Spurs, they have yet to pay their players and go over the caps. Tim Duncan took a lot of pay cuts on that team. I'm checking out the stats to see how many times the San Antonio Spurs have actually paid the tax over the years, and looking into that now. So I know that's something that we definitely want to go ahead and look into as far as right now. Looking as far as on hoopshype.com. I'm going to go ahead and look into that here a little bit more. But when it comes to what you're seeing with the Lakers later today, I'm hoping that the Mississippi Dog says, I don't want the Pacers players. It's funny because Laker Tom thinks exactly opposite of what you're thinking, Mississippi Dog. He was thinking this would be a precursor for that the Lakers would be able to go ahead and get Miles Turner, Buddy Hield in a trade. I don't see that happening yet. They would have probably already announced that being connected along with the swap of the second round picks. But as right now, we're looking forward to seeing what can go on as far as what the Lakers can go ahead and maybe make a trade for an existing player or pick up in the draft. Zangerstein says she agrees with Joe. If Lively is there, pairing him with AD will work immediately, regardless of the shooting. Vertical spacing is also needed. Of course, absolutely. I mean, that's something that the Lakers have not had. They're not a very good shooting team, so anything that they can prove on that end would be greatly appreciated. Through the wire says Jaime Jaquez from UCLA is a dog. I don't see that guy failing in the NBA. A solid eighth or ninth man on the roster at worst. Yeah, he's projected to be a good rotation player. He is moving up a little bit on the draft. There is a limitation for him though because he is a 4-year player, and most of these teams like to go ahead and base a lot of their drafting on potential with the 3 or 4 years taken out of it, and give them that time to go ahead and develop a player while they're still young. But Jaime Jaquez for a contender that's looking to draft a already ready player that could contribute right away. He's definitely going to be appealing. Could it be the Lakers? You never know. He did prove to be someone that could really do well on a basis as far as when it mattered in the tournament, in the Pac-12 tournament, in the NCAA tournament. So definitely looking forward to seeing where he goes. Could be a Laker. You never know. We'll wait and see. And again, the speculation is continuous on whether or not the Lakers will move up or down, or also as well if they will go ahead and just stand pat and maybe go ahead and get into, let's say, something as far as getting a player maybe that they might trade for an existing player. So we'll see. I'm hoping that the Lakers will be a little bit more active. We'll see if that's the case. But right now, the only trade for the Lakers is this morning where they moved up from 47 to 40 in exchange for the 47th pick with the Indiana Pacers and some cash. And to note, Zangerstein, the San Antonio Spurs have gone and paid the tax 6 times. Just to let you know, as far as the cap, they haven't gone over too many times, but 6 times over the years is actually relatively pretty good, considering how many other teams have gone well over that for many years. So definitely looking forward to seeing what the Lakers could go ahead and do over the course of the next few hours and seeing, and we'll update you at 5 o'clock. Absolutely. Christopher, thank you so much for joining us. Christopher Colazzo, truly appreciate you joining us. Please go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Word is that the 17th pick is in play. Who you guys think that they are trading it for? If that's the case, it would probably be for someone existing. I know that Laker Tom, who will be on the show later today with me, he is really pining for Miles Turner after over a year of predicting this trade. He's looking to see if we could package that in a deal for Miles Turner and also Buddy Hield. Mississippi Dog still does not want those Pacers players. Pick at 40 should be Imani Bates. I know you talked about Imani Bates at one time, one of the top rated and actually the top rated player coming out of high school. If Bates is not there, get Gigi Jackson. Gigi Jackson is a very young player, one of the youngest players in the draft, someone who could have a lot of potential. He would have been the first pick next year, but he reclassified and played this year at 17 years old. Yes, he did. So he's got a lot of room to develop. He would be someone that, if you're drafting him, you're gonna have to give him a lot of time in the G League and to go ahead and develop his game. So that's somebody to take a look at there. Those are actually, as far as projected picks for the second round, those are not bad choices. maybe the Lakers will look at more size if they're not able to get someone with size with the 17th pick. So definitely a lot of choices interesting out there to see. So definitely looking forward to going ahead and elaborate more for at least 2 hours. I think at least, if not more. Definitely looking forward. We will be here for the whole entirety of the NBA draft. We will actually be on playback.tv / Lakers Fast Break, and also right here on YouTube, Facebook. We're hoping Twitter, definitely also on Kick, Twitch, and so much more. So definitely looking forward to that. Any news or updates that the Lakers are going to make a trade for Turner and Heald? Nothing yet, Stephanie. And thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe if you can, Stephanie. I am also on Twitter, though, at Lakers Fast Break. I am retweeting anything relating to the Lakers as far as that's concerned. So if you follow me there, I am going ahead and updating everybody if there's anything that moves on the Lakers. But nothing yet on Turner and Heald. As you know, Stephanie, it's been something that's been rumored. Laker Tom has been hoping for this trade for actually over a year now. He's been trying to project this trade now. So hopefully it will come to fruition for him, partly because the Lakers, it would help them as well, but partially because we would just or feel so bad for Laker Tom because he's been predicting this trade for well over a year. But I know that Joe said he had to go ahead and take care of some Sim Blades things. So I know was only going to keep on for a few minutes while we gave everybody an update. But once again, Chris Paul has been traded to the Golden State Warriors for a package that includes Jordan Poole. The Washington Wizards also get a protected uh, first round 2030 first round pick and also a 2027 second round pick, but they do get Jordan Poole in the deal. So Chris Paul is a Golden State Warrior. Zangerstein says that the Suns are stuck based on all the picks. They're committed. They're going to beg for players to take the minimums. I do believe they have one MLE, the $5 million range, but you're right. For the most part, it is going to be minimums unless they trade by the trade deadline DeAndre Ayton. They have to trade DeAndre Ayton by the trade deadline if they want a package of players. After that, the second tax apron will kick in and they will have to only be able to trade players on a player by player, contract by contract, even money, 100% even money basis. So yeah, that's definitely going to be very difficult indeed once that second tax bracket, that second tax apron kicks in. So definitely not advantageous then, but like you said, Zangerstein, they are stuck with the team they have essentially unless they trade DeAndre Ayton. So we'll wait and see on that one. Zangerstein, they are over the luxury second apron right. Actually, again, according to Bobby Marks, they are actually given a $5 million exception. I think that's the only thing that they have left. They don't go into the second tax exception until later on. So they do have one exception left, according as of now, according to Bobby Marks of ESPN. But most of the stuff that they're going to get, most of the players are going to get, are going to be on veterans minimums. Just to let you know. So again, we have what's going on with the Lakers right now. The Lakers are again going to be picking as of now number 17 and number 40. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone out there. Hopefully you will join us later today at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there, connecting everybody out there, hoping for the best for everybody to have an enjoyable time. Hoping we'll get some great Lakers news. Hopefully we can make some great acquisitions that will help the team because Boston has, in my opinion, improved with getting Porzingis, provided he stays healthy, and getting 2 first-round picks on top of it in 2023 and 2024. Christopher says, see everyone at 5 p.m. Go Lakers. Absolutely. We're looking for more news and notes. Hey, Kern Williams, listening from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. All right. Truly appreciate it. Everybody out there, all the best in the Caribbean. Cannot thank you enough for listening in the Trinidad and Tobago. Truly appreciate it. Zangerstein, this is going to be a long wait. See you later, guys. Truly appreciate Z. Always, you're a tremendous part of what we do here, and I cannot thank you enough for your support as always. Kern, thank you so much. And again, we will be back. I'm heading out now. Gonna go get everything prepared. I will be staying on live on Twitter as far as news, notes, anything. I'll be retweeting out there as soon as I hear it, as soon as I see it, as soon as I become aware of it. If it's any Laker news, it's going to be on at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. I'll try to send the same message over to Lakers Fast Break on Facebook. But again, we go live at 5 p.m. right here. We're going to follow the draft in its entirety. And if you want to see it, watch it live along with us. We will also be simulcasting it on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. But we will be here live, YouTube, Facebook, the whole 9 yards as well. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. It is about what? Uh, 3.5 hours, a little less than 3.5 hours to the NBA draft. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to spending that time with you, with Joe, with Laker Tom, Laker Nick, anybody else that wants to drop on by. Looking forward to it. Kern, again, all the best to everybody out there in Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, Joe has popped back in. All right, he has popped back in. We got Kern, just to let you know, Z's out there in the Philippines, Kern's out there in Trinidad and Tobago. Christopher's out there as well. We've had a lot of great people stopping so far. Stephanie as well, Mississippi Dog. Got a whole bunch of great people. Any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
I'm ready for the draft tonight. I think there's going to be some activity here that's going to make things very interesting, much different than it was last year. There's so much. The talent pool is so even after the first five, let's say, that it's going to come down to which team values what player that they've probably worked out. That's what I'm getting at. And of course, every year you're going to have that guy that gets picked that should have been picked earlier, and everyone who didn't pick him earlier is going to be called a buffoon and a terrible GM and terrible scouts.
Well, they won't say that on the air. It'd be like, well, maybe I would have leaned another direction. That's why you come here, so that Joe will call you a buffoon and an idiot on the air.
Yeah, and I have to use those words because those are tame words. Buffoon is a goofy word, and that's probably why I use it, because it's goofy and it's tame. But I don't want to use the word buffoon. Buffoon is for network television showing a movie. I prefer premium channel and theater language. But again, I'm curious to see what the Lakers do here. I'm sensing that something's going to happen. I just don't know how big it is. Looks like something's going to happen. The sign working, it was a good sign seeing that Indiana and the Lakers had a simple deal together, because if something might be brewing, maybe a good
You
player.
said they would never do a deal together.
Well, money changes everything, Gerald. When you call someone and say, hey, guys, would you mind having $2 million for 7 extra slots? Yeah. Especially for a second-round pick, $2 million. There's one of two things going on there, or maybe both. You're either buttering up that GM with money, or you see somebody that's going to be at 40 that you really want. I don't know. We're going to find out.
We'll see. Absolutely. But hopefully you will be part of our live wall-to-wall NBA draft coverage right here at the Lakers Fast Break on all of our outlets. Even if our Twitter feed somehow didn't work when we went on air here today, if there's some way it doesn't work at all, even if you're following us on Twitter, we still will be retweeting like crazy. So you'll still be able to follow everything there. But again, we'll be on Facebook. We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on Playback. We'll be on Kick. We'll be on Twitch. We'll be on Facebook Lakerholics group. We'll be all over the place. Looking forward to it. Mississippi Dog says we're going to draft 2 studs. Braun is leaving us after next season to play with Bronny. AD will be traded when Braun leaves. We need some prospects to groom to run with Reeves, Rui, Christie, and Vando. We'll see. I think you're right. He does have his option after next year, so we'll see how that plays out. Kern says, for real, Kern, truly appreciate it. Trinidad and Tobago. We've had the Philippines. We're all over, my friend, going worldwide once again, as we always do. We truly appreciate, again, everybody, wherever you're at. We're aware of all the time zone differences. We just truly appreciate your excitement and anticipation over what's going on with the Lakers in the NBA draft. Nothing as of yet, my friend, as far as on the news front, as of, yet. I know as soon as we sign off the air, like 10 news items are going to be happening. So I will be retweeting it on Lakers Fast Break. But any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out? You're nervous, man. You're nervous. I can tell.
I really want to go into this next season understanding, now that Mississippi Dog has mentioned that this could be LeBron's net last year as a Laker.
And that was a very good mention.
Yes. The only jaded thought process I have there is he going to sacrifice $50 million to go play with his son if he gets drafted by Orlando or something? I have a really hard time seeing that.
His thought, he amended his comments, within the past year, from saying he was going to be on his team to just going on the same court.
I believe that there's hope that the Lakers select him.
We'll see. He was only he's the number 19. He moved up to the number 19 in the rankings as far as it's concerned. Then again, it's also dependent on the USC. USC always also got the number 1 women's player headed over to USC as well. They did a great job recruiting on both the men's and the women's basketball scenes. So, and they also got, of course, the number 1 men's recruit as well, Isaiah Collier. So my Trojans, fight on, baby, fight on. Looking very good. You know how that all works, though. All these one and dones are going to be playing there, and then it doesn't lead to a magical season. It just leads to a good enough season to get them in the draft. So I'm not holding my hopes out for a top-ranked team or anything like that. But Zangerstein says LeBron will take the money. I will bet on that. I agree with you. This man is going to be wanting to own his own professional sports team. Yeah, I don't think he's going to pass up, Joe, any substantial amount of money.
Bronny would have to shoot up to 6'8" to probably be a lottery pick. Unless his shooting ability in next year is off the charts, it's likely he's going to be either a late first or a second round pick.
I agree.
Based off what's going on. And the later he is available, the better chance it is of the Lakers getting him, because I believe the Lakers are going to contend, and that's likely where they're going to select. Would the Lakers sacrifice a draft pick that in that area for a novelty pick? Possibly. You have to be smart there. This is not NBA 2K. This is the NBA, and there is value in late first round picks, guys that have done a lot of great things, i.e. Jimmy Butler. Second round picks, i.e. Nikola Jokic. So we're in a new era of basketball where late round picks in the first and second round picks do hold value, massive value, could be MVP value. And that's something we can discuss as time goes on. Right now, I'm hoping for 2 things in the next month. 2 things. Mm-hmm. A serviceable center. When I say serviceable, I'm saying someone who is going to be there game in and game out, starting lineup, and someone who can shift and cover a little bit for the other guy or the AD when they're out. We need that guy. The other, a perimeter player that will be able to understand his role and can play good team defense and make a shot when we need it. Someone like KCP, someone like Alex Caruso. That's what this team needs. How they get that done, we're going to find out what assets they're going to use for it. I'm very interested in seeing what Rob can do with those 2 expiring contracts. I have now shifted from Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura to now, is there something there for those two expiring contracts? That's a serious number. $26.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do with that? Is the 40th pick more appealing to someone they may have been talking to? Will that be part of the package?
And remember, with 125%, which the Lakers, 120%, which is still Lakers can do, because it does go down if you're in the tax, but they can still do that right now. They can get someone, a package worth 27 and a half, a little bit more than just the 26.8. They can still get a little bit higher than that within a trade coming back for now, as of now.
And we would need someone like Washington to have a player that has some ability, but want to get away from that.
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, no, I don't think Jordan.
I'm not saying yes, but I'm just saying he has a salary that's right around that. Yeah.
Well, I don't think that Washington. What would we give? What would be the point of doing that? Might as well have just let Chris Paul's contract go if that's what they're looking at.
And I agree.
I think Poole was a talent that they wanted to bring in to at least give some little bit of their fan base a reason to come to a game. At least you'll be able to see Jordan Poole score some points, and then you got Tyus Jones who can do some things as well. You got to put some product on the court that's going to entice people to buy season tickets.
And you have to be above. You have to be above the floor.
Well, that too. There's a guarantee that you have that's been made in the collective bargaining agreement that you need to spend a certain amount of money.
Or you're giving it to the players as far as whatever the difference is.
Right. And that right there is why sometimes these contracts that you see are overpayments. It's because they kind of have to. Otherwise, they're just giving it back to the players, and they'd rather keep that money. It's similar to schools who get money for students who come to school. If it's not a legitimate absence by the kid, there's lost money there from the school when the child doesn't come to school. We're not taught this in life, why this is a certain way. The NBA doesn't do a really good job of explaining the collective bargaining agreement. Maybe it's too boring for people. Maybe people don't care about it. But I think it's important, especially for diehards like us, to know a little bit. I know I'm still in the intermediary area with the salary cap, because a lot of times it's kind of like tax code. Things change so much. There's so many different variations of it that could be created, like that poison pill in the NFL. I remember years ago, Steve Hutchinson, I think it was, they put a poison pill. That was the first time I ever heard anything of a poison pill, where if you had this poison pill, you couldn't match the contract without dropping even more money, and people were losing players because the money would have cost them more than what the actual contract was sent by the team that was trying to get them. So it's a lot of stuff, and even me explaining it is confusing me. I can't even say it.
And speaking of poison pill, that's the reason why this trade for Chris Paul and Washington will not go through until July 6th, is because of that poison pill in Jordan Poole's contract, just to let you know.
Yes, see, and it's difficult. It's difficult to understand it, but you have to kind of talk about it and look into the contract and then delve into a little bit. If you have, maybe one day we will have Larry Kuhn on here where he can start educating our audience in detail, because I know he's been the cap master for years here, and I'm even looking forward to learning more about it as things go on.
Well, we'll see what we can do about that, but we will also be again later today providing you wall-to-wall coverage, as only we can do here, right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Again, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also as well, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Kick. I know Kick is one of the latest streaming outlets that a lot of people are into. So Kick as well. We've got a channel over there. Trovo. Can't forget the folks at Trovo as well. So don't forget, we'll be available starting at 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to go live all over the place with the NBA draft. We'll be talking about all the picks, but of course, we'll be focusing on the Lakers. So definitely want to see you there. Going to be interacting with you as best we can, as always. Joe and I will be monitoring the chat. Going to have Laker Tom here. Laker Nick said he's going to stop by. Hopefully, I'm going to get some of the other guys to stop by as well, if that's possible. So we're looking forward to it, my friend. I'm really excited, my friend. It's less than 3.5 hours away. Oh, it's almost time, man. Almost time.
Yeah, it's time. I'm ready to see what develops here. I think there's going to be something going. I think there's going to be a lot of entertainment tonight.
Zangerstein makes a great point, and also Mississippi Dog, that if Rob is the sole decision maker, how is Jeannie going to fire him if those were choices? We forgot that they have many cooks in that kitchen, as we've always talked about with the Rambai and so many other voices talking to Jeannie as well on that. Just leave the scouting department alone. I think Mississippi Dog is right. If Rob Pelinka doesn't make the right moves, Bob Myers should be considered as his replacement. We've talked about that Mississippi Dog on this show for months now. I've actually recommended that several times on the air before the trade deadline and after the trade deadline. I understand that Rob has been very good as far as the trade deadline, this recent one, but it's just like I've always said, 2 years of missed opportunities, and you've got that you hit it on the nose one time. You've still got 2 years of failures, and you've got one moment in time, a couple week moments in time where you did really good. So the jury is still out on Rob Pelinka as a GM. So I'm hoping that he will continue with his progression in doing well. Since he's been doing well in the draft, the scouting department's done a great job on that. I'll rest assured on that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some good things here later today at the NBA draft, my friend.
Yes, you're only as good as your last transaction, and
That's for damn sure.
He's at that position. This could be the title transactions if he can get a couple of players that can cover for LeBron and AD's inability to do certain things during those late playoff games.
Because the odds say he can't strike it twice as far as that kind of a haul on the next trade deadline. You can't expect every trade deadline to get, that amount of players and do that amount of trades successfully like he did that time. If you're expecting that and waiting for every February, that's not a recipe for success.
No, it's not. And the fact that they went as far as they did in such a short amount of time is pretty amazing. The only team I saw do a trade deadline move that was significant was the 95 Rockets. They ended up winning a championship. The Lakers, if they had just had D'Angelo Russell hitting a couple shots in that Denver series, we could have seen a 2-2 series before a final 3-game series, which that's kind of how I always put it. If it's 2-2, now it's a 3-game series. Who's going to win the last 2 out of 3? We didn't get that. And that should be something that they focus on, because you're going to need that for Denver. I don't see Denver changing that much in terms of what their philosophy is going to be. And you also have to factor in that a lot of pressure, a lot of work went into this year. And it just makes me feel like Denver has all the earmarks of a team that's going to get complacent next year. Because just look at their number one guy, Nikola Jokic. He could not wait to go and be elsewhere. And he might have a sense of relief now. And I'm not saying he's not going to play hard next year, but it's sometimes that I want to get this done. And then you get it done. Now you're like, oh, it's done. It's going to happen in Denver next year. Who is going to eclipse that, though, in the West? That's the question. Is Boston going to make a move that's going to help them cover what they've lost in Marcus Smart, and then in gaining someone who could spread the floor for them in Porzingis finally? Those are going to be the questions, because that first trade Boston was trying to make, had that gone through, we would now have to worry about Boston, barring any injuries, of course. But because that first trade didn't go through, which was a total F job by the Clippers to Boston, which it's kind of funny. Your enemy, what is it? What do they say? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, Clippers just did the Lakers a favor by pulling out of that trade, because had they not, they would have had Porzingis and Marcus Smart, and that would have been a bigger problem. Losing Marcus Smart, now they've gotten that identity gone. Marcus Smart was their identity. A guy in his prime, a guy that was the first perimeter defensive player of the year since Gary Payton. Now you lose that. Yes, you gain a big, someone who's better on the offense, but now is your defense going to suffer? That's going to be the question to see what happens after that.
We'll see what happens, my friend. It is now less than 3.5 hours away, closing in on 3 hours away. Big shout out to you, Renz. Great to see you as well. Long time no see. Hopefully you'll be back with us again. We will be live in a little over 3 hours from now, 5 p.m. U.S. Pacific time for everybody around the world, on the Philippines, Trinidad and Tobago, everyone out there. Just to let you know, we will go live once again, 5 p.m. Pacific time right here, plus also playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Facebook, we're going to be live at 5 p.m. YouTube, we're going to be live at 5 p.m. Twitter, Twitch, Trovo, Kick, wherever you get your platforms, your streaming platforms, we're going to try and be there. Zangerstein says, yeah, that's right, Gerald. The guy looks ready, though. Plus, I love defense first before three guys. Z, I just think that they didn't have enough confidence in Max yet. They just needed to get him ready. They needed to go ahead and play him. And, to bring him off cold in that series against Denver would have been, I think, too much to ask. I really think that they should have prepared him and give him time over the course of those last month of the season consistently, plus in the playoff series. Give him like 5-10 minutes of reps during those series. They could have done it, gotten away with it, and he probably would have given you a better contribution or a contribution in the Denver series. I think that was a missed opportunity by the Lakers. But again, he's going to develop. Hopefully we'll see him in Summer League. I'll be here in Vegas. I'm going to catch hopefully a day at Summer League with my good friend Stone Hansen and Rafael Barlow. They've already asked me to go ahead and meet them there in Vegas. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and check it out there. But Joe, looking forward. And now they only have one more year to play him. See, what did I say? I mean, you look at some of the second round draft picks that were chosen right around him. They signed 3 and 4 year. They've signed multiple year deals. Rob, in his infinite lack of wisdom, only signed him to a 2-year deal. Again, just like they did with THT, just like they did with, other players. He just doesn't get it. You sign these players to cheap multi-year contracts, especially if they're second round and undrafted. They wouldn't have this issue now with Austin Reeves. They wouldn't have this issue now with Max Christie if they'd have just been smart and did that. That's why I don't have 100% faith there, Joe, in Rob Pelinka.
I'm not thinking that far ahead, and we have to see what.
But I am, and I do.
I don't want to go that route at this point. Right now, I want to focus on: is it possible? Is there a possibility that Rob? There's bigger fish that he has to fry right now. I'm not worried about Max Christie. I'm sorry. As great as Max Christie's ceiling is not going to dent anything either way. It doesn't matter at this point. What I want to know is, can Rob use Beasley, Bamba, and D'Angelo Russell as trade bait to getting talent here? That is going to be the question you need to ask yourselves right now. And I think I started asking more of it in the last 12 hours. Because if there's teams out there that are going to take on these kind of expiring contracts because of what may be coming here with the new collective bargaining agreement, well, why can't we be in on that? And I want to know what we can get. I want the Lakers to understand, and I'm sure they do, that you have one more real year. I think it's really one more year where you can go full bore on the AD, LeBron era of basketball. So get this thing saddled well, get the right guys in here to make one more run. You'll have a training camp, you'll have a full season, you'll have a coach who's gotten a little bit of experience here in the first year and try to go get 18. And it's very likely that if Porzingis stays healthy, that you'll finally get that matchup against the Celtics in the finals, which is would be just extremely exciting, because I just don't think the East this year just pretty much proved to me that they're still.
If Middleton walks and Lopez walks, Milwaukee is out.
I don't think Middleton's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else could pay him $40 million.
Well, he just opted out of his last year on his contract.
I just don't think unless his agent says San Antonio wants to pay him $35 million a year for the next 4 years, which would be what, $140. I don't know. I don't know. Houston, maybe. And the appealing part about Houston and San Antonio is they are in Texas, and people like to play in Texas, especially in baseball, where Scott Boras seems to send everybody to Texas. Gee, I wonder why. Why? Well, for those of you who don't know, it's because of the tax help out there. There's no income tax. So there's movement going on already, and I'm waiting to see if the Lakers are going to be part of that movement. It's very exciting. I'm excited that something's going to happen. I really am.
As am I, my friend. Scarlet Blue says Celtics are not going to touch a trophy with their roster. Let's hope that's the case. I'm really hoping that's the case, and they don't touch the trophy, and that don't win number 18. Especially before the Lakers. So definitely hoping that that's going to be the case. But again, they did trade for Porzingis. I did think they got a little bit better. Smart did have an off season as compared to his previous season, where he won the Defensive Player of the Year award. The previous season, he was on a little bit on the downslide. We'll see if that changes in Memphis. I know they needed someone that could be there for or help set up, I guess, the team and run the team while John Moran is away for those 25 games. So we'll see if that works out for them as well. But yeah, just something there. It's going to be very interesting. I expect more deals to happen, my friend, and we'll definitely go ahead and talk about here on the show later today.
Yeah, the deals the Lakers have to make is can they connect with a team that has good talent, and will it switch to expiring contracts?
Yeah,
that's the key here. The two things that matter in sports, in the NBA, I should say, is expiring contracts and acquiring good talent at a good number. I don't know who else could be out there other than Tom's favorite guys out there in Indiana. But then the question there is Indiana looking to get expiring contracts and draft picks? Is that what they're wanting? I don't know. But I would like to see a Turner trade to come to LA, because that would help AD, and Turner is even above anything that I was hoping for. A serviceable big. That guy is a legitimate problem at the center position in today's NBA. And if you have that guy roaming around the perimeter and you have to deal with AD on the other side or floating around the paint, and then you got LeBron with the ball, that could be a recipe for disaster for any team on any given night.
And Hield coming in as a shooter. I still think they should add in TJ McConnell to the mix. I think as a scrappy guard who is really good defensively, coming off the bench to provide you extra depth. If they pull off that trade and get all,
I'm still confused at why would Indiana wait all this time just to get a 17th pick in this year's draft? Is that really what they waited for Turner? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
I know last year they had higher aspirations for him.
Yes, and I'm seeing it. What is it going to be, a Washington thing where you're sitting there watching them last night going, how are they? Why are they just dumping everybody for nothing?
Well, maybe they saw themselves the way we see them finally, as they finally started seeing themselves as a mediocre team, and maybe Indiana sees themselves as that and just think, you know what?
But they're not. They have talent on that team. They have young talent. Why would you get rid of a player of Turner's magnitude with a team that's got really good perimeter guys that are coming up? Why would you trade him? Because he balances things out. That's the part that keeps gnawing at my head. What would they expect? Would it be a third team situation? Would it be a third team coming in and giving them an extra 2 first-round picks because they're taking on something over here and the Lakers are taking on a bad contract? That's going to be the question here. What is going to happen there?
At least with this trade, I know that they've been on the phone with each other. I know that Rob and Kevin have been on the phone. Scarlet Blue says, so if the Lakers move up to 40, there isn't a bigger trade with the Pacers. At least I know that they've been on the phone with each other.
My dream scenario in this offseason is signing Austin Reeves, which isn't so much a dream. I think that's going to happen either way. You're obviously going to get Vando back. And then somehow doing a three-way trade with Indiana and Chicago, and Lakers getting Caruso and Turner in that trade. And then they'll probably have to take an expiring contract that's bad. Maybe Alonzo Ball.
Turner or Lopez? Because of the age, I would probably lean towards Turner. They both have an injury history. I mean, Lopez is a great fit if he stays healthy. I think he's a little bit better fit. I'm just going to say this. I think he's a little bit better fit than Turner because he has a bigger body to go against Jokic. But age-wise, you would probably have to go with Turner. There's a 5 to 6 year difference, I believe, in age.
Yeah. Although there is something to be said about a guy who's won a championship as a starting center and
good point.
Has continued to improve in areas that you never thought he would improve in. Number one, defense. A guy who went from being mocked for being terrible on one side and great on the other to all of a sudden almost winning a Defensive Player of the Year award. And then you have him hitting open threes like nothing. I mean, if you can't get Brooke. You can't get him at this moment. He's not playing for the MLE. So I don't even know why I don't think that's even an option.
Unless he wants to go ring chasing again, which he's already won a ring. So now
he doesn't need to. He has. I am positive he has somebody out there that can give him. Heck, he can go to San Antonio and get a 2-year contract for $40 million.
Anywhere he can have.
Or Houston.
He has a lot of Disney memorabilia he needs to buy with his brother because they live in the Orlando in the off season, so because they're huge Disney nerds.
I'm sticking to what I think might be happening here. Is I think if I am Rob, I'm talking to Indiana and I'm talking to Chicago. There's contracts there in Chicago that need to be removed. One being Lonzo Ball. The Lakers are going to have to take one big bad contract if they want to enhance this team. And trade D'Angelo, sign and trade D'Angelo, and obviously get Bamba and Beasley out. That's going to have to happen. They're going to have to commit and know that they're going to have to take at least one bad contract. And it's likely going to have to be some kind of a three-way trade where Indiana gets the Lakers' 17th pick, Chicago sends their first-round pick to Indiana, Lakers collect a player of substance like, let's say, Caruso, and then they take on Lonzo's contract, and then Indiana gets D'Angelo or however that expiring contract thing goes between them.
Hey Joe, you didn't mention Rui on your deal. Is he staying or going?
I don't know. That's going to depend on all the other dominoes that fall. If San Antonio or Houston offers Reeves a $25 million a year contract, and the Lakers have to match that, I think Rui's gone.
We'll see what happens, but I know Raul's not exactly thrilled that the Lakers front office let Chris Paul go to the Warriors and Jordan Poole to the Wizards. Again, for Jordan Poole going to the Wizards, plus some draft picks involved, a first and a second later this decade, plus Chris Paul is going to the Warriors. Chris Paul is not going to be waived, according to sources and reports, that he's going to play with the Golden State Warriors. So he gets his wish to be on the West Coast, to be near his family. Blue Magic says, my concern is this: if you sign D'Lo back, who is going to want him? I mean, we saw a deal for Bradley Beal with what most, and myself included, think is the worst deal, worst contract in the NBA. There is no contract out there, Joe, in my opinion, that's untradeable.
No, we saw that with Russell Westbrook 2 years ago, and
Bradley
expiring
Beal this week.
expiring contracts have value, and they always will have value. And actually, the bigger the contract, the easier it is to get players like a Bradley Beal if you can send over an expiring contract or a few. I would have loved for the Lakers to get Bradley Beal if they didn't want any first round picks. You know, you could have packaged D'Lo in a sign and trade. I mean, what's the difference between D'Lo and Poole at this point, right? It's guys that can play offense that don't know how to play defense, and then you send Bamba and Beasley in there, and then you go for a championship one more year. And when LeBron retires or does whatever in 2
Beal's
years,
not the player that's going to get you over the
absolutely
hump.
not. But you just said it. Any contracts can be traded, right?
Yes.
But you're thinking about 2024. You're not thinking about after 2024. If you come to me and you say, all right, we're going to trade for Bradley Beal. We're going to sign and trade D'Angelo Russell, Beasley, Bamba, and let's say the 17th pick to Washington. Bradley Beal comes this way, and the Lakers are able to sign Reeves, Rui, Vando, right? Let's just say that happens, and then they're able to get someone serviceable, at least at the center position for the MLE. Now you go in the next year with some nice balance, and you have a third guy that you know can be a threat and a problem versus a guy like D'Angelo Russell, who you know if you attack him on defense, he's toast. He's probably not going to be mentally strong enough to attack them back on offense, which is what happened in Denver. It's about 2024 right now. I don't give two craps about anything beyond 2024 right now because you don't know how long. We didn't know this as Laker fans, except for little stints here and there, right? At least I didn't. So since 1991, when I started watching the Lakers as a coherent person, right, and understanding what I'm watching, the Lakers had 1994, the year they didn't go to the playoffs. Then fast forward to 2005, didn't make the playoffs. That's 11 years later. From 1991 until 2013, all I had ever seen was 2 non-playoff seasons. I saw 5 championships. I saw 8 NBA Finals appearances. I didn't know what that meant. And when you look at the Laker history, up until that point, they had only missed the playoffs 5 times up until 2013. 5 times. They missed the playoffs 5 times in the next 10 years, or I should say the next, 6, 7 years. So to sit there and go, well, you know, we don't want to take on this. And no, the hell with that right now. We have LeBron and we have AD right now. They have 1 more year left. 1 more year. Definitely LeBron. Get that title now. Get 18 now. Deal with the money later after 2024. If they sit there, meaning the media or fake Laker fans, whatever, they're like, oh, man, that was a terrible deal. You did this, and now you're strapped with Bradley Beal's contract. Who gives a crap, okay? You got 2 titles now in the LeBron AD era. They did their job. The Lakers did their job. Rob, Jeannie, 2 titles. How many titles do the Clippers have? How many titles have the Celtics won since 2008? Guys, and they've only won one in 37 years. That's the Celtics. 1.
Okay, last thought. Lifted's here. He said, how scared are you guys of Golden State? Who's better right now, Phoenix or Golden State after the trade? Chris Paul. You know what you're getting with Chris Paul. He could be, done. He could be washed. You're talking about a player that's approaching 39 years of age. You don't know what kind of player you're getting. Is he having any, gas left in the tank? You don't even know. So I would say I'm more scared of Phoenix, but I don't know with Phoenix. Again, they lack, a size, they lack rebounding, and they lack depth. So they need to go ahead and address those issues as well. So both of these teams are incomplete. Wait and see. So I don't know, Lifted, if those teams got substantially better or not. I mean, Beal is a volume shooter now paired with other volume shooters. And with Beal, he hasn't hit 40% from 3 since 2016. So you tell me, is he that great of a deal? He doesn't play great defense or has never known statistically to be a great defender. So I don't know if that substantially boosts your teams unless he dramatically improves his game with Phoenix.
Golden State didn't make this trade because they wanted to get better. They got rid of Poole because he was a problem chemistry wise that destroyed the Warriors. It looks like it was him who completely derailed all chemistry and all momentum from their previous title last year. And how they go forward from here, they better get some youth. Otherwise, Klay Thompson's another year older, and he looked dead last year. And he had spurts, but he looked pretty much dead. And he's going to get more dead as the years go on. You know, you don't get half your leg shredded and you just keep playing the way you're playing.
Yeah.
Steph's going to probably be the same. Draymond is finished being Draymond. If they bring him back at a friendlier contract, good, because that means they ain't going to do squat next year. And then you got Chris Paul, who, even if he was able to muster another 60 games in the regular season, ain't going to make it past the second round healthy. They're going to have to keep him in cryo for the first half of the year if they want to preserve him long enough to maybe make an impact. But then how is he going to ramp up? And you just lost a player in an 82-game season here with Poole that's not going to cover scoring and depth and minutes. They're going to have to do something else. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to sign and trade Draymond somewhere else and get a couple of younger players? That's going to be the question. I don't know. I'm not worried about the Golden State Warriors. You worry about Denver because Denver did muster the chemistry, and that's good. And they will be a problem next year. But complacency is what I'm going to be looking at on that team to see what happens there. Phoenix, if they're healthy and they hit a good spurt in the playoffs, they have enough talent there to make up for depth and deficiencies. So that's something I'll wait on for that. Memphis is Memphis. They're already starting off on the bad foot with Ja Morant being suspended the first 25 games. I don't know where that goes. Sacramento, they're Sacramento. I'll believe there'll be something when I see it. And the East is the East, guys. I'm just not impressed with the East. This was the year that I thought they might have a turning point, but they showed their true colors and played as lousy as the East does. And if I had to pick someone who's going to come out next year, barring any major injuries, I'm going to look at the same teams. It's going to be Phoenix, Denver, Golden State, and the Lakers, probably fighting at that area, and that's it. Dallas, I don't know. Dallas needs one more guy. I don't know who they could get, but not worried about Dallas either.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. Please join us in less than 3 hours for our live wall-to-wall coverage for the entirety of the NBA draft. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, YouTube Lakers Fast Break, Facebook Lakers Fast Break, Twitter, Twitch, Trovo, Kick, all the places that we're at. We're going to be live with our wall-to-wall coverage. Looking forward to it. Joe, it's been great having you here a little bit longer on this Lakers snack pack than I thought. Just glad to see it, though. The response has been great. A lot of people are excited just by our turnout today. I cannot thank everybody enough in the best chat room that's out there for Lakers right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Search and Destroy says, please like and subscribe. Please, so you get the latest notifications when we go live on the air. We truly appreciate it. Endorphin is true. The rumors are true. I'd trade the 17th pick for GTJ. The rumors are out there as far as what the Lakers will do for 17. Also talking about the Indiana possibility of Turner and all that. So some great options for the Lakers. They're holding on to their cards, my friend. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the NBA draft right now is going to tell us a lot about what direction everyone's going to go. I really believe that. It's going to depend on, the only thing we're not going to know is what pick is going to be valued by certain teams. And that's where the trades start to maybe start to go. I think we're going to get some activity depending on who's going to get traded where. I'm still holding out. I don't think they're the rumors that the Lakers are doing certain things to trade up. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there might be some interest in Derek Lively, because Derek Lively has been going up the board.
Yes.
When initially they thought he would drop. And if they feel like they can go up 4 slots, let's say, to get him, then there might be something there. And that's what's going to make this exciting. That's what's going to make this exciting. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be valued. And are the Lakers going to use that value to get established players to LA in using their expiring contracts as well? There's a lot of, it's so different than what it was last year because we already knew no one wanted Russell Westbrook. We were screwed. Now there is value in everything they have. The 17, the 40, Beasley, Bamba, D'Angelo possibly. There's value. There is value there for a certain setup. And I'm wanting to see what Rob does here. This is going to be really, really interesting to see how things play out. Something's going to play out. It's just a matter of how big will it be. Will it be that trade that says, yup, now the Lakers are the favorite to win the title? That's what I'm waiting for. Just like when they acquired Anthony Davis, although there was one thing that was different, there were a lot of people predicting that the Lakers were going to be a 7th seed that year, which was mind-boggling to me. I was like, 7th seed? You're talking about a LeBron James who's still playing well and AD in his prime? What are you, nuts? And you saw what happened.
Lipton's saying we're always the best. We always deliver. Truly appreciate it. Endorphins asking how can the Lakers trade up? Using cash would only really be for the second round draft picks. Rarely do I see cash being utilized for first round draft picks, but that is a possibility. The Lakers only I think, are allowed to use so much as far as their money that they can allow towards moving up or down as far as draft picks are concerned. I do think though that they would, they still have that first rounder. That's 2029. I think they still have that as far as the that's left in the kitty as far as them concerned.
Or
the 2030. They also have the 2030 as well.
This is the most confusing mock. The most confusing mocks I've seen in a long time. Every mock has a completely different draft. You got guys that are picking Cason Wallace 8, 7. And then there's some that say he's going to get picked by Atlanta at 15.
Yeah.
Right? Blake Lively, same thing. He's going to go 10 or 12 or maybe in the low 20s. Kobe Buffkin. He could be the last pick in the lottery, or he could be a guy that's late 20s. I don't know. I wish I had the time like Stone Hansen to watch this. I really do. I enjoy sports, and I enjoy the intricacies of sports. The problem is I have to pay for homes, cars, and food. And I already spend 2.5 hours watching basketball. This is just basketball in the NBA. Then I spend another 2 hours talking to everyone, which I don't totally enjoy, guys. Yes, Johnny, mind-boggling is exactly what that is.
Luca's asking, though, do you see one of the big teams signing Brooks, though, before we head on out? Because we got to go, man. Got a lot of stuff we got to cover before. A lot of preparations to make before we
signing Brooks, as in Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still a good basketball player. He just needs to shut up
and needs to shoot better and stop shooting so much.
Well, if you're gonna be a Billy Badass, then just play defense and just get in people's faces like Rodman did. That's coaching. Coach him up to his aggression. Be a beast down low. Get the rebounds. Stop shooting.
I'll tell you what, my friend, a lot to talk about here when we go live on the air. Again, Less than 3 hours away is the NBA draft. And Joe, myself, Laker Tom, Laker Nick, I'm hoping Jamie Sweet will join us at some point in time. I know they're still coming back and forth from work. But again, whether you're in Trinidad and Tobago, the Philippines, all over the world, please mark your alarms for 5 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. We will go live on the air right here where you're watching us now. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Trovo. Also, as well, you can go ahead and connect with us on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Our wall-to-wall simulcast coverage of the NBA draft is going to be right here. Joe, I'm looking forward to it. But any last thoughts, my friend, once again, before we head on out?
Last thought is let's get if we're gonna keep the 17th pick, let's get that guy that's gonna be an immediate impact next year.
I think the clock is ticking, my friend. I think that window is closing, and I think the Lakers need to do something really big, either now or very soon, in order to go ahead and be at the same level or higher, which is what we want.
They just need a
End of
couple
next season.
moves. They don't need much, right? A couple moves to make sure LeBron doesn't tail out next year. AD is still young enough where he can play hard, and deal with the little knick-knack injuries. He'll be there in the end. He always is, except for 1 year. Let's really, really, really hope that that's the case. 1 more year, focus on that. Let's try to win the championship in 2024, get 18, and then you got a little bit of a window there to relax. I know that sounds weird being a Laker fan because we want to win number 19 next, 20.
There's going to when you put all your chips in, everyone, you got to realize, like Boston, like us, like a couple other teams out there, Phoenix, there's going to be a period of rebuilding at some point in time. You just got to make sure you win those championships.
And the beautiful thing is you don't necessarily have to rebuild. You still have pillars there, right? You have the main pillar, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is still going to play 3-4 more years at least. Just try and get this last one with the LeBron AD run, and then let LeBron go off in the sunset in 2025.
We'll see what happens indeed. But it all starts tonight, right there for you. Again, everywhere you see us, including playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, we'll be having live coverage of the NBA draft. If there's anything news and noteworthy on the NBA draft or trades or moves that is reported, we will be reporting it on the fly at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. So if you're not following me yet, please go ahead and do so right now, right? So you can get the latest news and notes on the NBA draft. In fact, I'll just put everything out there that's reported by the Shams, the Wojs, the Chris Haynes. If it's a trade, a move of any kind affects the Lakers or not affecting the NBA draft, I'm going to just go ahead and just retweet it out there over the next couple hours, and we'll see. And then, of course, wall-to-wall coverage of the NBA draft is right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Hopefully everybody has a great day. Couple hours. We'll see you at 5 o'clock U.S. Pacific time. We'll be here, the NBA draft, right here at the Lakers Fast Break.
He was struggling, but he is a legit lottery talent that would fit in perfectly here.